Welcome back to the channel, everybody. You're watching the VSO Gun Channel. Thank you for tuning in. It's excellent to have you here as always. And today we're going to be talking about the pistol brace debacle. But before we do, I wanted to say thank you to all of you who've been going through and checking your subscription notification settings. I got a talking to last month from my YouTube rep saying that it was a little bit low on the percentage, and we have bumped that up substantially. So keep up the good work. Just go check them, make sure that they're the way that you want them to be. This update is coming to us out of the Southern District of Texas, and this is going to be a relatively quick video today. This document is only 29 pages, and it is something that we predicted was going to happen. So I'm going to go ahead and take my capitalism break right now, and then I'll come back and give you the nitty-gritty on what just went down. Are you squared away on your medical gear? If not, this is the ad for you. We talk a whole bunch about poking holes in things and blowing stuff up on this channel, and y'all kind of enjoy that. You might want to perhaps have the ability to fix some of those holes, right? So what I have for you here today is a collaboration with Everlit Survival and AceTac. This is their advanced trauma kit. I have a full video that I'll have linked in the appropriate places for you guys to go check out, see if it's good value for you. And they're offering VSO subscribers a 10% discount if you use my code listed over at the affiliates page. It was a little bit of a toss-up to me whether I was going to do a full video on this one or I was just going to notify you guys via social post. And then I read this thing, and I'm going to share with you probably the most important statement in the entire document, and that is the first one. In the early 20th century, Congress sought to regulate what it perceived to be a dangerous subset of firearms in an effort to curb organized crime. Obviously, this continues on to the rest of the paragraph, and we get a full lineage and history of how we got to where we are today. But notice the tone and the language used. Congress sought to regulate what it perceived to be a dangerous subset of firearms. Not that are inherently a dangerous subset of firearms, what it perceived at a particular time in history to be a dangerous subset of firearms for the express purpose to curb organized crime. Not that they're inherently dangerous, but there was a particular subset of people at the time that were using these things for nefarious purposes, or that's what they purported to be using them for, and the purpose was to target them. Not that they're inherently dangerous, not that they are a problem today. I think this is really important because what this is an opportunity for a future litigative action to cite this court and say, well, the reason they did it, and this is the truth, by the way, this is verifiable that this is why the NFA was instituted back in 1934, was to specifically go after actually handguns. However, the regulation fell short of handguns. That's what they were trying to go after, and that's how we ended up with SBRs. And this paragraph goes on to say that, well, they didn't end up regulating handguns, which is what we're talking about in the instance of the pistol brace infringement. Skipping down quite a bit, the court finds that the balance of equities tips in the plaintiff's favor because the final rule effects on plaintiffs is immediate and imminent, while the effects on defendants, especially the ATF, is more administrative and speculative. Defendants' arguments of harm to the public are unavailing. Although defendants can point to a few incidents where pistols with stabilizing braces were used to harm the public, the NFA regulates but does not ban gun owners from possessing these weapons. So permitting the final rule to continue in effect would not necessarily protect the public from any like incidents recurring. There's lots of good stuff in this document, but the reason that I bring that one to your attention is the court says, well, the law doesn't ban these things. It just makes them harder for poor people to get. It doesn't really make a whole lot of sense for you guys to keep your rule because, well, there's a lot of them out there, and substantively, these only account for a small percentage of the homicides that are out there. They're not banned, so anybody can get them as long as they pay the relevant fees to obtain these quote-unquote regulated items. So is it really harmful to the public at all for them to be around? Are they really dangerous if all you have to do is be able to pay an extra $200 for them? I think that that's really important, because what that speculative analysis does is basically say, well, if they were dangerous, then why aren't they banned instead of just allowing everybody to pay extra money for them? This seeks to center around that whole argument of a taxed right. And I'm interested to see how that is used by our friends at GOA and the FPC, particularly in the future. Now, y'all are smart people, and you can figure out what's going on here. GOA is getting an injunction on this one. However, it is limited in scope to the named plaintiffs and GOA members. And I know that's going to piss a lot of you off. However, I would point out that I predicted this last month sometime when we got the controlling case, which is the mock case. We said that these court cases were probably going to be updated with the same line of thinking as came down in that case. So here it is. But then what I would also say is that we have to think about the ramifications of that. So it could be argued that, and in my worldview, a district court has the mandate to strike down unconstitutional laws. However, the ramifications of doing that opens their decisions up to a much higher level of scrutiny. For instance, let's say, hypothetically speaking, they say, nope, pistol brace rule is absolutely unconstitutional, nationwide injunction, can't enforce it everywhere. That then infringes on the sovereignty of other governments to make their own decisions. So other court circuits. That's a problem, particularly if you think of our rogue circuits out of the state of California and New York. And if they said nationwide injunction, well, it's very easy to generate a court case in those jurisdictions that then gives challenge to everything that we've basically been seeing coming out of Texas. Texas is kind of leading the charge on this one. And if we have differing opinions, while that will be a fast track to the Supreme Court, it would be better if we had unchallenged decisions by the time we get up to the Supreme Court. As in, currently the government is getting their butt kicked, and we don't want to give them home field advantage. Sports ball reference. Bread and circuses. Therefore, it is ordered that defendants in all of their brown shirts are hereby enjoined and restrained from enforcing and implementing the final rule against plaintiffs and their resident family members, as well as GOA current members and their resident family members. This preliminary injunction shall remain in effect pending a final resolution of the merits of this case or until further order from this court, the United States Court of Appeals for the Fifth Circuit, or the United States Supreme Court. So ordered Judge Drew B. Tipton. Now, to wrap this thing all up with a bow, I understand that this is somewhat frustrating. And yes, this is not a surprise. We knew that this was going to happen. Everybody's getting upgraded to where Mock left off, which is the case that made it the farthest up, the FPC case. And I understand this is frustrating. However, what I would say about that is that this is the way that this has been done in this country for hundreds of years at this point in time. And it sucks for somebody to reach out and touch you, but this is an instance where the government has overstepped its bounds, and this is the process that is used to correct that. And it takes a long time. It's going to take a long time. We're going to be talking about this for years. The bump stock thing is still in the courts. So what I'm going to tell you is that you need to strap in. A lot of people get mad at me because they say that I'm just whipping people up. Partially, yes. The more people that are informed about this and the more people that are upset about this does impact the court's decision. And you're like, no, Kurt, that's not the way it works. Listen to the oral arguments from the mock case and tell me that the judges in that courtroom don't weigh how pissed off y'all are. Anyway, that's all I got for you guys today. An update to the pistol brace situation that will be ongoing. Stay tuned here at the VSO Gun Channel. Thank you all for tuning in. I greatly appreciate your support, and hopefully we'll see you on another video here at the VSO Gun Channel.